we're going to do this, but we're going to do it our way.
You bought a robot, baby?
Wow, that was a joke grenade. That took me a second. Imagine the poop emoji as furniture.
It's weird that we didn't do that 10 minutes ago.
We should have started that before, you know. That makes a lot of sense. Why wouldn't we do that?
Too late now.
Matt, you forgot to disclaimer this part. We're old, and we remember how it used to be. There, go. And it was better then, too. You got to put that in there. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly.
While you guys are weaving belts, I'm going to sing this little tune that I wrote.
We think we're funny. On with the show.
This is XRadioX.
Good afternoon. We haven't done this in 6 months, 8 months. I don't know when the last time we did this is. I think
Feels
we were
like
both
forever.
in our 20s. I'm not sure.
Feels like the first time.
Yeah. Not quite, but it's close. So I think...
Feels like the third time.
Actually, feels like the 34th time. Because it's episode 34. This is episode 34. It's the one where Matt and I are going to reprogram some people's radio stations.
Oh,
and by
I'm so
people,
excited.
I mean corporations. Some of these corporations, it could be iHeartRadio. Yeah, I said it. Could be Alpha Media. That's local to where I'm at.
Oh.
It could be Citadel. I think they're still a company. Maybe it could be McDonald Broadcasting, also local to our area.
Wow.
But I'm going to clue
It's
you
the
in here.
man. It's the man.
It's not going to be McDonald Broadcasting. So they don't have this format we're going to talk about. But in case everybody didn't know who the hell they were listening to, this is XRadioX. I'm Jace.
I'm Matt.
Glad you remember your name. It's been a while since we've done this.
I'm excited. So what we planned to do a while ago was we put together, we programmed an hour of music of a radio station. And now we're going to talk about it, right?
Yeah, and of course, I couldn't stick to the rules that I actually sent you. So here's what I did. Because the premise that you're talking about, we're going to reprogram these people's radio station, or at least talk shit about their programming and why ours is better.
Yeah.
Maybe theirs will be better. I don't know what you have on your list. I have no idea. That was part of the fun of this.
It's true.
So what I did, Matt, is I went through and I found 2 radio stations that do the classic alternative format. Because you and I were talking, we're going to start this with the classic alternative format.
Yeah.
Because that's how you and I came up when we first started working, was in college radio. And then we went on to other formats, but we'll talk about those later. So we're going to reprogram somebody's classic alternative radio stations.
Yep.
And I know I told you get an hour, and an hour is fine. We can work with that. But what I did is I went and found 2 radio stations we can compare your programmed music to.
Ooh.
Yeah. And those 2 stations are, and I'm going to mention them because maybe it'll get us some hits. I don't know.
Okay, great.
It's 106.3 WGER, 106.3 The Core here in mid-Michigan.
Yep.
They switched over to classic alternative from they were like adult, like hot AC.
Okay.
About a year and a half ago, and they switched over to classic alternative. I got very excited about it. Playlists are pretty good, but I have some comments.
Okay.
But then I went, and it's another city that I used to live in Indianapolis. I actually still work there from time to time. I went out and I went to WOLT, which is 103.3 in Indianapolis.
The Wolves.
They just switched over to classic alternative in probably within the last year and a half, too.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I pulled their playlist. So what I did is I went from today's date, which is the 8th of August, 2023. I took the midnight block, and then I took the noon block.
Ooh.
Yeah, just as 12 hours apart.
Yeah.
Just to see what we got. And then, so, I couldn't stick to the rules like I told you. So now I have all of these songs.
Okay.
All of these songs. And there's one thing I learned really quick.
All right.
When looking at these lists. And I'm very interested to see what yours are going to be, because what these stations consider classic alternative, barely any of the songs I would have thought of are even in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
mean, is it so? we can get into more detail, but I also didn't quite follow the rules because I felt like I had to include a little bit of newer stuff into the hour just to pull people in. So I wasn't just basically reliving 1995. Because I could have just
for the kids.
I could have just done that. I could have just 95, 98, somewhere in that range. I could have come up with an hour of music pretty easily, but I wanted to mix it up because my idea was if I were to program an alternative rock station, would I want to just cater to us, or would I want to mix it up so that it was a little new stuff, a little old stuff, the old stuff being good, the new stuff being not what's currently playing on like what you would call like active rock or modern rock formats. And so it's true alternative rock music. So I feel, knowing what you have done picking playlists and what I've done like programming an hour, I'm willing to bet we have at least one song in common.
I'll say we have at least one song.
I'm not going to say the song. I'm not going to bet on that.
I'm willing to make that bet because I'm looking at the difference between WGER and WOLT. And I can tell you this, and when I pulled the 2 different hours, WGER has crammed a lot more songs into their 2 hours.
Really?
Than WOLT is. Now, I'm going to venture a guess here, is because nothing against the area where I live, but there's probably a lot more advertising opportunities in the greater Indianapolis area than there is in the mid-Michigan area where I live.
And that's the other place that I cheated, because I think my list clocked in at like 59 minutes and 12 seconds, which would not fit in a standard radio hour because of commercials.
Right.
It wouldn't fit. So I just kind of fudged a little and said, well, it's an hour of music, and then we can throw out the least favorite to make up.
Yeah, and it could be, if yours is the midnight block, maybe there's no advertising, and it's our advertised 1 hour of music.
There you go.
1 hour straight.
1 hour nonstop.
I even came up with the call letters for us.
What is it?
What one do you like more, WJAM or WMAJ?
The Jam is cool. The band The Jam is cool, and the radio station The Jam would be cool. The Madge.
Yeah, the Madge, because the Madge could be our mascot. Madge she's from the greater Midwest. Her husband's name is Pete. You know Pete, the guy who fishes for walleyes, and it's not even walleye season. Isn't that crazy?
You're listening to Madge.
You're listening to Madge, where we play classic alternative.
I'm good with either one. They both work.
After hearing it, I think we got to go with the Jam. And you know why I picked those letters, right? It's not. This is not a super huge puzzle to figure out. Yeah, Jason, Matt, or Matt, Jace.
Yep, I figured that out.
And a W because we are east of the Mississippi.
True. Yeah. I was teaching my kids about that little phenomenon not too long ago. They wanted to know why radio stations started with a W and a K, and so they listened to me way too long to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, if we were west of the Mississippi, we could be K-Jam.
K-Jam. I kind of like K-Jam.
I kind of like it. It's kind of like KY.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly like KY. Yeah.
Except Jam's K-Jam. A little stickier. It's kind of old. It's been sitting around a little bit.
Hand me the K-Jam, Madge.
Hand me the K-Jam, Madge.
All right.
Oh, sure there, Matthew. Let me get that.
Do we need to do a disclaimer? We've already talked about KY jelly.
We probably should do a disclaimer.
To dox kids, if you're listening.
Yeah. So here, I'm just going to come up with one on the fly.
All right.
It's XRadioX, folks. If you haven't listened in 33 episodes, you probably won't get it, but here we go. This disclaimer is Matt and I are old. We're going to talk about old music. And since we're not actually on the air, we may curse and talk about KY jelly. So There you go.
And we already have, so that's taken care of. Okay, so should I start with my first song?
Okay, well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How do you want to do this? Do you want to start, or should I start with...
How about since you have a list of songs that the radio stations actually play, you can chime in as soon as we get a repeat or a similar, like the same artist or something, and we can see how unblemished my hour is and how much is basically what they're already playing. I think if it's what they're already playing, then good on them. I mean, that means that they're a pretty good station, I think.
That means at the very least we'd listen.
Yeah, we would listen. Okay. So
Okay,
the first song,
I'll let you get started then.
first song on my list to start at midnight exactly, midnight and 6 seconds, so we can get the legal ID in, is the Toadies' Possum Kingdom.
Yep, you're right. It's our first song on the
Is
list.
it?
Yep.
So it's from 1994 from their Rubberneck album, and I love the song. I mean, it's super fun. It's got this weird kind of off kilter like tempo to it that you don't always catch. It's sort of like a stagger drum beat, and then it's about some creepy shit stuff. It's about like taking someone to a lake and making them join a cult, and
I thought it was about vampires.
It seems like it would be about vampires, but I've actually done some research, and the author or the author of the song, the lead singer for Possum Kingdom, his name is Vaden Danger.
Hold on, his name
Todd
is
Lewis.
Vaden Danger.
Vaden with the V.
Vaden
Danger.
That's better
Todd
than
Lewis.
Vaden.
Mm-hmm. And he's really into horror movies, and he was thinking about the concept of somebody joining a cult and then having to like lure another person to this lake to make them join the cult, and offering them all sorts of weird stuff to make them become cultified. And he just kind of thought it would be a weird, quirky song to sing. And he said that the song off the, the song I Burn, it's off the same album. It's like a two-parter. That song is about the same guy lighting himself on fire as a sacrifice to the cult. So he's weird, but the song is awesome. I mean, you can listen to it and not think about the creepiness and really enjoy the music. So I have always thought of that as a really true alternative song, and so I had to include it as my first one.
That's a good pick, and actually, I can tell you that according to my research, it was played today at 12:14 a.m.
Nice.
The Core.
So close.
So you and the Core at least have one song in common. It was not on WOLT, not at all.
The
not in the hours I picked.
The jam is fitting into the Core.
That's right, the jam.
And there's also a documentary about their music from that album, because apparently all of it is weird enough to spawn a documentary. It's called
Did they write
Dark
the documentary
Secrets?
themselves?
Dark Secrets, The Stories of Rubberneck. So if you are interested in more information, check that out. It's probably free on YouTube.
Probably. And actually, if I was going to pick a Toady song to start my hour off with, it'd be I Come From the Water.
I Come From the Water. Yeah, I thought of that too. I love that song. Yeah, it's a great song. I mean, there are so many songs on the album, but I had to go with... So my idea was that I would make it a mix that was both accessible and indie. Like, it was alternative, but not so alternative that you're like, ugh, is there even a melody here? Like, sometimes alternative can be a little too alternative.
So what you're going with is something that normies and music snobs could probably
normies are not
with.
Afraid of. Exactly. Yes.
Gotcha. So just to let you know, just because I figured you started off at midnight, I would like to let you know that today at midnight, that 106.3 The Core started off with Fly Away by Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, come on.
I know. And
that's not
WOLT in Indianapolis started off with I Stand Alone by Godsmack. I would pick neither one of those.
No, first of all, Lenny Kravitz is not alternative. And secondly, Godsmack is one of the... All right, listen, I'm not going to rip on Godsmack.
No, go for it. It's your podcast.
I might rip on Godsmack. I'm going to try not to rip on Godsmack, but I have... There is a... I think when... So like way back when we were kids, alternative rock stations sort of blended into modern rock stations for a while. They sort of melded with this, because what you would play in an auto body shop or at a bar that is not well lit and frequented by mostly guys.
And it has a sign out front that says Bike Night Tuesdays.
Exactly. So again, I'm not trying to rip on them. They're all talented musicians. They play music better than I could, but there is and you and I have talked about this before, and I know that you don't necessarily 100% agree with me, but there's like 6 or 7 different artists that are frequently played on alternative rock stations that I can't tell apart, and most people probably, if they were blindfolded, could not tell them apart. And Godsmack to me is one of them.
I like Godsmack, but I would not put them on a classic alternative station.
No.
It wouldn't be one of my picks. They'd be more in the active rock world.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There's a place for them, just like in West Side Story.
Just because they got their name from an Alice in Chains song does not put them in an alternative station.
No, doesn't count.
All right,
what's
your
ready
next
for my
one?
song 2?
Yeah.
Song 2 had to include the Pixies. It's Here Comes Your Man by the Pixies from way back in 1989. I think any alternative station has to play the Pixies because they have influenced so many different modern artists like OK Go, Nirvana, U2 even has listed them as an influence on some of their work. So you have to give respect to the Pixies, and they're super fun. And Here Comes Your Man is a simple melody, but it's fun, and it's just quirky enough that makes people say, all right, I wouldn't necessarily hear this on, my adult oriented rock station, but I like it, and it doesn't scare me, and it's not screaming. And so I think I'll maybe dive a little deeper. So the Pixies, Here Comes Your Man.
So far, I like your station better so far. Because I'm going to let you know that the second song of the hour on both the other 2 stations on the core, and don't mind the screaming behind me when you hear this. Amy is on the other side of the room as I record this. But the second song on the core 5. At the 12 o'clock hour was
Maroon 5.
No, it wasn't Maroon 5. That actually kind of might make more sense than this one, because I would put this group more in the active rock, not the classic or alternative rock area. It's Nickelback's How You Remind Me.
What the
yeah, see, did you hear that? There was hay over there. And I'm not saying it's a bad song, Peanut Gallery. I'm just saying I wouldn't put it on a classic alternative station.
You hear it on every format. So there's something to be said for Nickelback, and people love Nickelback. I'm not knocking that there is a market for Nickelback, but it is not alternative music, in my opinion. I think that the Pixies are a pillar of the alternative rock pantheon. Not to be too grandiose, but I mean they have to be included. Nickelback. I mean.
The album Surfer Rosa?
That was from Doolittle.
Yep.
But Surfer Rosa is awesome also.
Yes.
You can almost not go wrong.
Yeah, on OLT, their second song for the hour was When I Come Around by Green Day. More in the classic alternative realm because they were kind of there when... So I can agree with that song. I can get on board with that one.
At one point, I was going to try to squeeze in a Green Day song because I thought I have 37 seconds, and I think there's a really short Green Day song. But I opted not to. But yeah, I could see Green Day doing it.
So I'm going to let you go through your hour before I compare it to every other one.
Just jump in if there's one that's the same. That way
I will.
Yeah. Okay. So
and then we'll compare the other 2 to yours. So let's keep going here.
So the next one I have, I think, is probably going to be more likely in one of those other stations because Red Hot Chili Peppers are very popular in all different rock categories. But I went new with the Chili Peppers because I was trying to bring in the young kids. So I went with Tip of My Tongue from their newer album because I love it. It's just silly and it's sort of a back to their roots type of song. I could have gone with, I don't know, if I had picked an old one, I would have probably gone with Could Have Lied, or I would have gone with Breaking the Girl because those are sort of not often played older Chili Peppers songs. But I went with Tip of My Tongue because it's super fun and it's got that reverb in the chorus that is just silly. And it sounds like old Chili Peppers with their na, 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 na.
See, totally not a fan of that song.
You don't like it? Oh, nope. I loved it.
If I was if I was picking, I would have went way more classic.
Yeah. What would you
I
have
would have
went
went like Mother's Milk or earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
but that's just
like
me.
I said, I'm trying to bring in the kids.
Trying to bring in the kids to our classic alternative station. Got it.
The next one, to hell with the kids. It's Neutral Milk Hotel. And the song is Holland 1945 by Neutral Milk Hotel. Forget that it is inspired by or based on the and Frank Diaries.
That's such a positive vibe you're going for there.
I know. It's a rocking song, though. I mean, it's really fun, and if you don't listen to the lyrics, it's just silly, and it's got a good beat, and it's from In the Airplane Over the Sea, which is a great album. So if you're not familiar with Neutral Milk Hotel, you should probably check it out right now. Don't worry. Pause us. We'll wait. All right. Are you back? Okay.
Yeah.
What you think? Good.
Loved it. I can hear program directors across the world going, Neutral Milk Hotel.
It's good.
That's not going to raise our cume at all.
I know. And it's a thing where, like, Neutral Milk Hotel is kind of a love it or hate it band. They're either indie darlings or people say they're just garbage because their music is kind of confusing. And the singer and songwriter, the chief songwriter, is sort of a recluse. He doesn't do interviews or anything. So he's not accessible. Therefore, I think a lot of stations found their music not accessible, which is unfortunate. But Neutral Milk Hotel. Check it out.
And this is the midnight hour, so we could really put whatever we want.
There you go.
It's not like you have huge listenerships then.
I will. This is going to be the most popular show.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So the next one, continuing that indie darling should have been bigger kick, it's Jets to Brazil with Lemon Yellow Black from the Orange Rhyming Dictionary album. It's another rocker. It's got a great beat and you can dance to it. The kids would call it a bop. Let's see.
I just want to say something. We're talking about bringing the kids into our classic alternative station.
I know.
WJAM. I was at high school orientation today with my kids, and thinking back to those, 5 hours ago, I'm not thinking that's a big Jets to Brazil crowd.
You're just not giving Jets to Brazil a chance. I think they would like them.
I think, with the amount of Pink Floyd shirts I've seen, and apparently people wear sweat shorts with polo shirts now. It's like a thing that you want to look like. It's like the mullet of clothes. You want to look like business on the top and party on the bottom, I guess. Or I've coined that, most teenagers wear these days is they just want to look like they're going to fall asleep. They're ready to fall asleep at any moment. Like, you need to go to bed now, and they're just like, boom, to the floor because they're already in pajama pants and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But where I'm going with that, sounding like my grandfather, is, I don't think they're a big Neutral Milk Hotel and Jets to Brazil contingent at the teenage crowd. So,
yeah, but there are kids out there who are being fed just what they're being fed, and that's the problem. I think they might listen to alternative radio and think that Godsmack and Seven Dust and Avenged Sevenfold and Five Finger Death Punch and all of those same things are what alternative rock is, and that's just not the case.
I think we'd need to put the radio on in the theater area. I think then we'd probably hit some of those kids. I think that would work.
Yeah, I agree. All right, shall I continue?
Please.
Okay, so now we're getting back to, I don't want to call this mainstream, but this song was recently featured on the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 soundtrack, which, did you end up not watching it or did you watch it?
I did not watch it.
It was a surprise to me because I have always liked this song, but it's Space Hog In the Meantime from their Resident Alien album.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome song. I mean, it's kind of almost like a throwback to older, I don't want to say like 60s things, but it's like a 70s kind of, it's got the ooh, and it's got like sort of a Beach Boys type of feel, but it still rocks way harder than the Beach Boys. And it's a great album. I actually have the Resident Alien album, and there's a couple really cool songs on it. So I think that would be a good one to just tie the group together. The new kids who are watching Guardians of the Galaxy saying, "What's that song?" And then the people who heard it when it actually came out in the 90s would all be able to join hands and who together.
So, yeah. I agree with you. It's a good song. It's the only song I know off that album. The only other thing I know about that group is the lead singer was married to Liv Tyler.
There you go. Yeah. And
What
I
else you
think
need
that
to know?
this is like something to that I was thinking about when I was putting this list together is there are a lot of songs that I listed that are basically from the 90s, like the mid 90s. And before anyone just dismisses me as being stuck in the mid 90s, when you talk about like oldies as a genre, it's mostly 60s. Wouldn't you agree? Mostly. There's some
Well,
50s, there's some 70s. Now they're starting to bleed in the 80s. But the oldies genre that we grew up knowing was mostly, by and large, 60s music because the
50s
60s
and
were where
60s.
most of the good music was at the time.
Yeah.
So,
It was
I mean,
50s and 60s was oldies, and it was anchored by the Beatles.
right. But you wouldn't hear tons of 50s on you would hear it,
No,
but it
you'd
was
hear some here and
mostly
there.
Beatles, Beach Boys, Stones, all the, the British Invasion. It was all 60s stuff. So I think that it's okay to say the 90s had a really good streak of creative singing and songwriting and music experimentation. And I do not, even though I did just apologize for it, I do not apologize for it.
See, for classic alternative, for me, you've got to get something, a few from the 80s in there. You've got to hit that new wave at some point, or that it wasn't necessarily new wave, but something like The Cure or the Smiths. Just those are the ones that everybody knows from that, or goes to something from the Factory Records days.
Right.
Like that's got to be in there for a classic alternative station for me. And now I know I'm approaching 50 years old. So classic alternative is probably different for me than somebody who's in their 30s.
Right.
This is probably straight up classic alternative to them because they were kids.
Yeah, it's a good point. All right, moving swiftly along. The next song is just for me, basically. I knew I had to include Mike Doughty. Nobody plays Mike Doughty on the radio. You hear soul coughing sometimes, but Mike Doughty doesn't get the love that he deserves. And so I think that we had to go with something from Mike Doughty for my hour, and I included Light Will Keep Your Heart Beating in the Future. Have you heard that song?
No.
It's really cool. He's basically, some of his songs are basically just, white guy rapping, but it's good. And that song is like it's like a free association word list. I think he mentions like ketamine, Lucy Lawless, like all these different things just in a list of words. But the song itself is cool. And the chorus is really hard to sing along with because you just have to hear it because he like the way he phrases keep your heart beating in the future is just really tricky, but it's fun. So that one is, I put that in there for a couple different reasons because I think that part of the responsibility of radio is to give people an opportunity to discover music. It's not always just feeding you what you already want. It's giving you things you didn't know you wanted and letting you determine, yeah, I do want this, or no, I don't want this. It's not all supposed to be vanilla ice cream if you want vanilla ice cream, because then you might not know that you actually like Neapolitan ice cream. If nobody gives it a try, then you just think, hey, I have this great station. It plays vanilla. I like vanilla. It's perfect.
Well,
and
so
it's like,
far, Matt, I can tell you your hours playlist is breaking the algorithm that the PDs use for these other two stations. I know. Safely say that.
I know.
Safely say that.
But that's the thing. I think that
that's the point. That's why I always wanted to be in radio, because I fantasized that it was this thing where I was going to help people discover this other stuff.
Yeah. And I think that there is a fear amongst program directors, like almost like it's a gambling problem where they think, oh, if I go too different or too diverse, I'll lose the advertisers. They won't want to, experiment with me. I have to play music that people will definitely guaranteed know and like already, because if someone doesn't know a song, they might change the station. So we're just going to go with the hits. We're just going to go with, like, I think there's that fear that makes them not do the things that radio is really good at is that teaching you music that you've never heard of before. And that's the unfortunate like conundrum. You have
and
to.
Here's like the rebel idea. If people think radio is a dying industry, then who cares? Play the hits. Yeah, play the hits because we all like the hits. That's why they're hits.
Right.
But if radio's dying and you're looking for something to get people to be interested, be different. The problem is so many of these stations are not different. They'll have nuanced differences, but they're not different.
Right. Yeah.
They all pull from the same Billboard hot lists. They pull from the same. And you know what? Put 10 minutes of effort in. 10 minutes. Don't just pull a program down, PDs. Put some effort in, just a few minutes to a couple hours, and see if that helps. If it doesn't help, well, then you did it wrong and try it again.
Exactly. And I think that, Mike Doty has some cred with the alternative rock station format because Soul Coughing had a bunch of hits. I mean, at least alternative hits. And so there is an accessibility to his music that I think that people need to be able to just veer off course a little bit and then come back into, tip of my tongue, which the Red Hot Chili Peppers are safe for alternative rock. So it's kind of like we're going out and then we're coming back in, and we're going out and then we're coming back in.
And you break it up with a liner, here's a song you forgot to remember to like.
Exactly.
WJAM.
So the next song I have actually was
you got to bring them back in. Get the normies back now, man. Bring them back in.
I'm going to kind of get some of the kids in again because I went with Wet Leg, Chase Long. Have you heard that song?
That's a great song.
It is a great song, and Wet Leg's a good band. I mean, they look they seem almost like a novelty act, but if you listen to their first album, it's got a lot of yeahs, kind of maybe even a little Florence and the Machine kind of vibe to it. It's good music. It's a female vocalists, 2 vocalists, and they do most of the instrumentation too. But if you haven't heard Wet Leg, it's a weird sounding name. Arguably, they probably should have thought through their name a little bit more, but it's a jam. It's a fun song, and it was, I think it came out in 2022, actually, maybe 2021. But so it's not technically classic, but I'm grabbing the kids and bringing them back with me to say, hey, it's safe. Come with me on this journey.
That song, now, whether I'm getting the name right or wrong, has been on arguably my favorite alternative. They delve into the classic, but if we're just kind of covering alternative, WEQX in Vermont.
Okay.
That song was all over that station for a while.
There you go. That's great. And they were doing it. They were doing it right. They took a song that was a little weird, a little quirky, not necessarily radio friendly. And they were like, but this is a jam and people are going to like it. And they said, let's give it a shot. And, I'm sure people responded to it in Vermont and online. So,
and if there's any program directors listening to this, I will go out on a limb and say this right now. If you want to program an alternative, and heck, even kind of do some of the classic alternative stuff, go listen to 102.7 WEQX, the real alternative out of Vermont. Hands down, they're doing it right. They're not a corporate station. They program all their own stuff. They've been, they're it.
Cool. And I think that it's important to branch out from the Avenged Sevendust God Shine Smackdown music.
I'd go see that concert, by the way.
That's like when all those bands form a Voltron of bar band music, and then they just destroy you with sound.
They just combine together and become a 78 Firebird, and it's just awesome. Because although they don't fit totally into this format, every one of those bands you mentioned, I think I've seen all but 2 of them in concert. So,
and they do what they do well. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that shouldn't be the standard of what alternative rock is, because it leaves out so much.
And they're they're more active rock bands anyway. So they're in a total different station. They're on a different playlist. They're in a different station. So
I just have to ask, is your muffin buttered?
Is my muffin buttered? Would you like
us to assign someone to butter your muffin?
Please. Continue on.
Excuse me. Okay. So the next song I have is, after we do a liner, maybe a PSA.
Is it your muffin buttered liner? Is that what we're going to use there?
Yeah.
All right.
Is your muffin buttered? Try W Jam. Okay. So the next one is Spoon, a band called Spoon, and the song is The Underdog. I love this song. It's super fun and catchy. It doesn't fit in any other format but alternative rock. It's not modern rock. It's not AOR. It didn't really chart that well as far as a pop song. It did pretty well for Spoon. I think it was number one. That album was number one in the top independent artist albums. So it got some traction, but it's such a fun song. And
is that their latest album?
No, that was from 2007.
Oh, okay.
But it's got this really fun syncopated clap in the middle of or at the end of the chorus that I always try to reproduce, and I can't do it because it's off the beat. You'll have to listen later.
It's because you're a piano player.
I know. I just can't.
You're not a syncopated. You're not a percussionist.
I'm not. But I challenge you to hit the claps when you hear that song. I don't challenge you to get the clap. I challenge you to hit the claps in that song correctly after listening one time. It's nearly impossible.
The days of me getting the clap are long, long gone.
Thank goodness.
So speaking of clapping, though, and this would be something that a disc jockey would do on a radio station if we're talking about clapping.
Yeah,
and especially we're talking classic alternative, and many of these songs seem to be falling in the perfect time frame for this. Is you would have to ask the listeners at some point if we have a song with clapping. When you watch reruns of the show Friends, do you hit the claps every time?
Do you?
I do.
Yeah. I don't think that
Amy and I will be watching Friends at night. It'll be 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
Could be a Wednesday. Could be a Tuesday. And we're watching Friends, and that part comes up, and our dog, Chester, who knows how to work the bed, and remember, he can make my bed go up and down.
Yep.
He'll be asleep at the end of the bed, just off in doggy dozing land. And that part will come up, and we'll hit those claps, and he will jump right up. He'll be like, what? And then if we watch 2 episodes in a row, the second time we hit the claps, I just feel like I'm in his head, and he jumps up and he's like, really? What the fuck?
Chester's like, fucking Friends.
First off, I hate this show. Second off, it's 11 o'clock at night. Why are you awake and clapping?
People don't clap at this hour.
They get the clap at this hour. Now go to bed.
Oh, see, now the young kids, they don't even call it the clap. So I think that just ages us as well.
Yeah, they don't. Do they call it the icky sticky? I'm not sure. Is that something else?
I hope that's
the sticky icky. That was weed back in the day.
Yeah, that's weed. All right.
See, this sounds like something that 2 old white guys would talk about on a classic alternative station. So did you get the clap back in the day?
Oh my gosh. There's a station here in it comes out of Philadelphia, I think, and they do this bit in the afternoons, and I happen to catch them when I'm driving home from work, and it's always really super off color to the point that I wonder how he hasn't been fired yet. Because he's very cheesy, like a morning show guy, but he's not like a edgy morning show guy, but he's saying things that are way too, it's just very awkward. But
like he's
anyway,
just trying to be edgy for the sake of being edgy.
And it just sounds gross. It ends up being really gross.
All
okay.
right.
After Spoon, we've got Kurt Vile. Which is actually his real name. Did you know that? It's not.
I did not know that.
It's not a name for his nom de plume or whatever. It's his real name. And the song is Pretty Pimpin'. Are you familiar with Pretty Pimpin'?
Song.
It's a fun one, and it's just basically him talking about looking in the mirror and seeing a guy with his same clothes, and he's looking pretty pimpin', and he realizes it's just him, and it's. But he's like, who's that guy brushing my teeth? And it's just very strange, but it's a fun song. And Kurt Vile is a weirdo, and his music is not always accessible, but Pretty Pimpin' is one of those songs that I think bridges the gap.
He's one that the music snobs and the people who review records, they just love him. And I think it's because he's like off center. So
Yeah.
that's what
And
that's what makes true alternative music, is not being like everything else.
Exactly. You take chances, and sometimes you miss and sometimes you hit. And I don't like all of Kurt Weill's music. I like quite a few songs, but he's a little too out there for me. But some of his songs, when they hit, I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is very creative and different, and it stands out. His voice is different. His style is different. But it's still, it's still got to have a melody, and it's still got to be a song that you might hum to yourself or sing along with a little bit in order for it to really be, like, to me, an accessible song. So from the Believe I'm Going Down album, that was 2015, but that's pretty pimpin'. So check out that one if you're interested in Kurt Weill and want to explore more of his stuff. It's not all super weird, but a lot of it is weird.
All right.
Did you know he was the guitarist for the War on Drugs?
Pardon me?
He was the guitarist, the former guitarist from the War on Drugs, that band, the War on Drugs. He was a guitarist.
I did not know that.
Yeah. All right. So the next song, we're getting to the home stretch now. The next song I have is also someone who is very weird, and she has a very dry delivery for all of her songs. So some of her songs are just strange, and some of her songs are cool, and it's Courtney Barnett. And the song I picked was Pedestrian at Best. Now, Courtney Barnett is from Australia, but don't hold that against her.
One of my favorite bands of all time is from Australia. You know better than that.
Midnight Oil.
Yes, Midnight Oil. I like Midnight Oil, but one of my favorites of all time, really?
I know.
It's like you don't even know me.
I knew it was AC/DC.
I know you knew that. Everybody knows that. People who don't know me know that.
So she was actually nominated for a Grammy for that album.
Really?
Yeah, for Best New Artist. And I think that, or maybe it was Best Alternative Artist. I can't remember the exact details. But so, I mean, she got some props for that album. And I think it was called Sometimes I Sit and Think and Sometimes I Just Sit. That was the name of the album. But there's some good tracks on that album. And again, it's something that you would not hear on any other format except for an alternative rock station format. So I did have to play some newer stuff just because I know that I think when you limit yourself to a genre, just like oldies did, I didn't want oldies to start including 80s music. That made me feel old. But I think if you have a alternative rock station, you can't just play a decade or two, because then you end up squeezing in Lenny Kravitz. And I think that's weird. So,
and when you pick, if you want to pick a Lenny Kravitz song that's going to fit in a classic alternative, genre format.
Yeah,
I've always thought of Lenny actually more of just a rock and roll band. Him and his band are more just a rock band.
Right.
But if you wanted to pick something that's going to fit in the classic alternative, you got to go with like Let Love Rule or something from when he first started. I mean, even Are You Gonna Go My Way could probably fit. You get later on when he was doing stuff for like the Austin Powers movies.
Yeah, he's just
and
a
things
rock.
like that. It's still awesome, but it was just a rock band at that point.
Exactly. And I think if you can, I don't know. I mean, it's funny to hear us say this because it is basically saying we are limiting what someone's idea of alternative is, but it is kind of like, it's not really an alternative. It is mainstream music. Lenny Kravitz is mainstream rock.
We're trying to fit and give lights to some music that doesn't fit other places.
Exactly.
That's the idea of alternative.
Yes. Amen.
It's got to be an alternative to something.
Yes. It's an alternative to God 7 Dust Smack.
I'd go see that one too.
I know you would. All right. So the Courtney Barnett song is just weird because like she doesn't really stick to like verses or stanzas or even sentences. She just kind of starts reading her lyrics in a very dry, deadpan way, and then eventually gets to a chorus, and you're like, oh, we're at the chorus. Okay, great. But she does a lot of that. Like Sly Stone used to do that. I feel like Sly Stone used to just talk, and then when he heard the music come around, he would just start up the chorus, and then all of his singers followed along. She does something very similar, but it's fun to listen to. So Courtney Barnett, if you are not familiar with her at all, then that's a good jumping off point.
Cool.
Next is a song that's recently gotten actually kind of popular, but I didn't realize that until I started researching it. But it's Alt J, Left Hand Free. And Alt J has a very unique, weird sound. They're, and actually, what I did find out, fun fact about Alt J, their actually band name is supposed to be a triangle symbol because it's the symbol that you make if you hold down the Alt J keys on a Mac computer.
Oh,
I didn't know that. So, so they're nerds, but their music is very strange. And if you want to hear, if you like strange experiences in music, I recommend Breeze Blocks by them. I recommend Left Hand Free. Tessellate is another good one, but they're just strange moods. And Left Hand Free is probably their most rocking, like normal, traditional rockish type song, but it's weird. And his voice is definitely not mainstream radio friendly. But that recently was on it was on the Captain America Civil War movie.
Oh, okay.
It played in the background of one scene, and then it's also, I guess, the theme song to Netflix's Outer Banks show. Have you seen that show?
No.
So anyway, it's the theme song. I didn't know that, and I immediately was angry that they did that. But
don't you like it when you ask me a question? You're like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "No,
no."
I just end the sentence. No, period.
No.
Continue.
Moving along. So they're getting some more recognition, which is cool, but they still don't really have much airplay on the radio. So Alt J deserves a little radio love. So. But Breeze Blocks is another really good one and very weird too. So I would go with either one. But Left Hand Free is one I would recommend for my 1 hour.
That's it?
Next.
That's your hour?
No. I have
you have one more.
3 more songs. We're in the home stretch.
3 more.
I know.
Trifecta.
59 minutes, 26 seconds. So next is My Morning Jacket.
Good pick.
I'm a fan of My Morning Jacket, and they have they're kind of like a soulful indie rock band. I mean, Jim James is not your traditional soul singer, but he definitely brings it.
I can agree with that.
And the song I picked was Wordless Chorus. It's not one of their most popular, but it's one of those songs by them that really hits me, like it gives me goosebumps when he starts. Literally, it's a wordless chorus, but he's just going, woo! And he's just saying woo a lot and ah and hey, and it doesn't sound like it would work, but when you hear him doing it, you're like, man, he's really putting some passion into these woos and ha's and a's. So Wordless Chorus is a great song by My Morning Jacket. Highly recommend you check it out, and that would definitely be in my hour. Then we've got a band that I love and a lot of people love to hate, Kings of Leon. I know. You need to give them a chance, buddy. There are songs out there you haven't heard that you would like, I think. The song I picked is not Sex on Fire.
Well, you just lost all the wine moms. Way to go.
It's from their 2007 Because of the Times album. It's called Fans. And I picked it because it's a really cool song about being a band and feeling the love from the people that come to see you at shows. And it's got a really building, like it amps up and it just busts out with a chorus, and it's another one that gives me goosebumps to hear it, and it's really fun to sing along with at the top of your lungs. But it's, the thing about Kings of Leon is I think that people, and I'm not speaking about you specifically, but there are people who loved Kings of Leon when they first came out, and they sang, we couldn't understand what they were singing, and it was like countrified rock, punk, and it was really messy and awkward. And then they started actually trying to write songs that were accessible and that were successful, for another turn. And as they were doing that, as they were getting better, as their lead singer started enunciating, people were like, they sold out. But I think people, if you're writing and singing your own music, is it really selling out, or is it just getting better as a band? You know what I mean?
Selling out is one of those loaded terms that
Yeah.
us music snobs, we love to throw it around when we want to be mad at a group because they've moved out of our little insular cool area.
Right.
That where we and a few of us know about them, and it makes us feel cool. And then they get huge, and they can actually buy a house,
exactly,
and live a life.
Yes.
And they were like sellouts. I mean, I guess that's what I am every day when I go to work and make enough money to pay my bills. I'm a fucking
Can't
sellout.
believe you sold out, man.
Yeah. How come you're not? You don't have any indie cred anymore? You can pay your bills.
You and your bill paying. You don't get it, man.
You bought your kids new clothes. What are you? You
don't you even remember
capitalist.
When you had to find clothes like the rest of us?
Yeah, you had to pin them together. What do you mean your kids don't have only black T-shirts? Oh, sorry, that's at the God Mega Metallus Snap song. Did I tell you I'm going to see Metallica in November?
Are you really?
Yeah, the 2 days. They're playing.
I've seen the stage for that. It looks really cool.
I'm so excited.
That's
so
awesome.
excited. Last time I saw Metallica, want to take a guess?
98.
94.
Whoa! Wait a minute. I feel like I saw them then.
It was on the Live Shit Binge and Purge tour, I'm pretty sure. Or Summer Shit or whatever they called it. It was like 94, 95.
I saw them on the Snake Pit tour.
Yeah, I saw them on that one too. That was my senior year.
That was the last time I saw them live, but great show. I think someone I know at work went and saw them when Ice Nine Kills was there. And
so did they just go? Because I think they're on.
Yeah, like last week.
Because they do 2 nights. Like there's opening bands on one night, and then there's opening bands on the other night.
Yep.
And they're all different. And I'm not sure if Ice Nine Kills is on the stops that we're going to see. I wouldn't mind seeing them.
It was. They said it was a good show.
Dust Smack Down Shine tour. Once again, I'd see all those bands too. But that's neither here nor there. I think we have one more
shine
song.
Down Dust Smack. All right. So
who doesn't love a good dust smack?
If you're not a fan of fans, and you should be because it's a really good song, Pickup Truck, Comeback Story, Waste a Moment, Revelry, all really good Kings of Leon songs. Jace, please give them a chance. They need your support.
I'm sure that's what's holding them back these days.
That's what it is. Yeah. So anyway, okay, the very last song on my list, you probably knew it was coming because it's an alternative rock.
Is it by
station.
Cake? Is it by Cake?
No.
Oh, nope. I was wrong.
It's my favorite band in the world. It's REM. And the song I chose is from Green from 1989. It is Turn You Inside Out. It's a super rocking song. It might be one of REM's only like really chugging rock songs that doesn't sound like it could be a country song. It kicks you in the teeth as best as REM can. And it's always been, since it came out, which is, 1989, it's always been one of my go-to, like when I just want to, I don't want to like hurt myself, but I want to get like pumped up. It's a really good song for that. And REM is another one of those bands that has to be, in my opinion, on an alternative rock, especially classic alternative, but any alternative rock station, you have to have a healthy dose of REM or you're not really doing your research, in my opinion. And there are a wide variety. I mean, they have so many albums to choose from, but that's the one that I chose to go with. And also, interestingly enough, I have to shout out to, we never get the opportunity to do this. I have to give a shout out to Gomez from Playlist Wars and the Sleevy G Show.
Sleevy G?
Yeah, Sleevy G, because this song appears on the Grand Theft Auto 4 soundtrack. And I know I know. I'm sure he knows that, but if he doesn't, now he knows, because he always likes to talk about songs that are on video games, especially Grand Theft Auto. So that song was on a video game, so it must be good. It's not just me. If they picked it for Grand Theft Auto 4, there's something there. And that's my hour. That's my 59 minutes and 26 seconds.
You've been listening to 91.5 WJAM.
WJAM. I would listen to that hour over and over again. In fact, I pretty much have as I was doing my research.
To that hour. I would listen.
It was fun.
I you know, being that we're friends, I feel like I can be candid with you.
Yeah, of course.
I think there's some questionable ones for a classic alternative station in there.
Yes, if you say classic, then yes. It would not meet.
Now, if you just say a straight up alternative station at the midnight hour, you nailed it. Yeah. Nailed it.
Thank you.
Now, if we were totally talking classic alternative station, I feel like with an hour like this might actually be 2 hours worth of music in radio formatting, because you got to get, top of the hour. Like if I was running this, I would want it to be very local. So my top and bottom would give some sort of local happenings type thing, just one or two, something to connect yourself to the area that you're in. And I know they're like, that's so unprofessional, but that's what makes radio great, is it's where you're at.
Yep.
It doesn't need to be. That's what Sirius XM's for. That's for when you're on the road and you got to get the same type of music from coast to coast. That's what you have that for. Sure. Radio's local. It should be local. You should be talking about local things. You should have high school football scores in there, because that's where you're at. Yeah. But I would add to your hour or 2 hours, whatever it may be, I would add what we would call future classic alternative. You got to use that radio voice, future classic alternative.
I get. And
I would throw in a couple songs. Actually, the one that I picked for future classic alternative would be "Cut Your Teeth" by Kississippi.
Kississippi. I remember them.
That song, "Cut Your Teeth," is badass.
Yeah.
And then I would put this would go along with your REM one, because it might be just a couple years older than that one.
Okay.
Because this is alternative station. It's college radio. I mean, that's not what we're doing, but that's what alternative is.
Yeah.
"Left of the Dial" by The Replacements. You got to have that in there. Heck, I might start every day with "Left of the Dial."
Yeah, The Replacements are good. And, I just realized as I'm thinking through it, I've just realized that we also completely left out the Violent Femmes, which seems like a crime.
It is. But, you got to pick. This is your hour or two. You got to pick. I'm sure if we had a whole day to program, they would make it in there, because I would definitely throw American Music in there somewhere. I love that song.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And that's probably the song I would choose for sure.
And that's totally not one like normal program directors would pick. They'd pick Blister in the Sun, maybe Kiss Off, but I like American Music.
You like American music?
We're about an hour into this shindig, so I don't want to drag this out too much farther, but let me just tell you that the WJAM playlist for that hour or two, if we throw some commercials, local weather, and some local news in there, I'm listening to that over these other two. And there's nothing against it, because I listen to 106.3 The Core a lot. It's our local alternative, classic alternative station here where I live. And I listen to them a lot. But I think they could take some notes from you, and they could throw some of these in, because these are some of the songs I wish they would put in, is some of the things that you said.
I'm here for them.
This is their 12 o'clock hour.
Okay.
I'm just going to run it down. We don't need to comment on everyone unless you want to. There's a couple of them in there that kind of jump out as like, well, that's weird if on an alternative station. But I guess they want to be played in like a machine shop too. So
exactly.
Here we go. They started off their hour with "Fly Away," Lenny Kravitz. We already covered that.
Yep.
Went into "How You Remind Me" by Nickelback.
All right.
Rock songs. They fit more in the active rock. I would put those over there. I would not put them on my alternative station.
Yep.
I actually don't mind either song, but not alternative to me.
Right.
But let's keep going. This next one is what really threw me in their hour, their 12 o'clock hour.
Okay.
"Symphony of Destruction," Megadeth. That's a metal song. That's hard rock and metal.
I know, but that was when Metallica and Megadeth and like a couple other metal bands were like, weren't they trying
Pantera started
weren't they trying to make garage rocky kind of?
No, this is from '92. It was straight up metal. This is off of one of their more accessible albums. It was off Countdown to Extinction and Symphony of Destruction.
It got some MTV play, I remember.
It did. It got a lot of it. I mean, for crying out loud, Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? The bass line was for the music for MTV News.
Oh, wow.
You got to go listen to it, and you'll be like, oh, it is. Anyway, so they had Symphony Destruction. They went to No One Knows by Queens of the Stone Age. Good song, but not alternative to me.
Yeah.
Possum Kingdom, the Toadies.
Yeah.
Fits.
There we go.
I'm with that. Bulls on Parade, Rage Against the Machine.
Sure.
They don't
really fit in another format.
Yeah. I could do that one. I can give that one. Animal
Like,
by
what
Pearl
other?
Jam.
Hold on 1 second. What other format would you hear Bulls on Parade?
Active rock.
You think?
Yeah.
I guess.
It fits in both. That one
Yeah.
you can kind of go both ways. But if you're going to ask me to put, something by Rage on an alternative station, I'm probably going with Guerrilla Radio because it's a radio song and it's a little less active rocky. But they just kind of ride that line. You don't know where to put it.
Yep, that's true.
The next one was Animal by Pearl Jam. Totally fits. I'm with it.
Yep.
Dragula by Rob Zombie. That's an active rocker to me.
Yeah, but has he had a lot of success outside of alternative? Like, has he had a lot of? I'm not a metalhead, so has he been huge in the metal? Maybe he's having trouble finding a category where he fits because he is weird.
No, he fits in the rock, metal, active rock, hard rock. He fits on those stations. And that's one of the things, like, so where I'm at is a small market. I'm in the Tri-City market, Saginaw area in Michigan. And our market's not huge. So on an alternative station, you're going to cram in some of those active rockers because most of the folks, the normie alternative folks, they also like active rock. So you want to keep them there. I get why they're doing it, but I'm programming this, not them on this one.
Right. Got it.
And The Distance by Cake, with it.
Cake.
Totally there.
Yeah, I love Cake.
I'm surprised you didn't pick a Cake song, but
I know. I only had an hour.
I know. And Brain Stew, Green Day.
Sure.
Brain Stew, though, for me, you got to do Brain Stew, Jaded. You got to do the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
It works better for me.
Yep.
But I'm with it. I can do that one. Second Chance by Shinedown. That's why I was laughing when you were making those things.
Yep.
Because I like that song, but it's not an alternative song.
Right.
I've seen Shinedown in concert. They're very good. They're a great rock band.
Yeah.
Their song 45, my favorite song. Chef's
If I
Kiss.
stood outside a Shinedown concert and asked 100 people that came out, name 5 Shinedown songs, I bet at least one of them would accidentally name an Avenged Sevenfold song.
I doubt it. But I've actually seen Shinedown in concert, and I was so mad. My favorite song, they didn't play. They did a great job, though. Yeah. They did a good job. But like I said, doesn't fit on the alternative station for me.
I agree.
What's My Age Again? Blink 182. It fits. It works. I can do that one. Megalomaniac by Incubus.
Oh.
A lot of people don't think about Incubus, but they can cross over between alternative and active rock.
Mm-hmm.
And matter of fact, I would think of them more they're more accessible alternative towards rock.
Yeah.
Their first album, Science, is even more, in my opinion, alternative. But that's
what's that other song that came out at around the same time as Megalomaniac? The one that was
Wish You Were Here. Nice to Know You.
I'm not going to sing the whole song, but anyway, yeah, a lot of their other music is definitely more alternative than modern rock. So, yeah.
And they rounded out their hour with Hunger Strike, Temple of the Dog.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Fits perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Totally should be there. And then their end of their hour, I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs over in probably past 20 years.
Okay.
But it doesn't fit on an alternative station for me. And it's Send the Pain Below by Chevelle. Yeah.
I'm sure I would know that if I heard it, but I can't think of it right now.
It's a great song, but it's not alternative to me.
No. Would you say it's more of a Seven Dust song or more of a Five Finger Death Punch song?
It definitely belongs in that. I guess there's a difference between alternative and modern rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably put them in the modern rock category.
I think like you were saying, though, in a smaller market, you can't really have a modern rock station and also an alternative rock station. So you have to kind of
you got to bridge the gap.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's the core here in Saginaw. Now this is WOLT out of Indianapolis. This is their hour, and we'll go through this one really quick. They started out with Godsmack, I Stand Alone.
Of course they do.
Yep. When I Come Around by Green Day. Okay,
All right.
I can do that.
Yep.
Demons, Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, I could see Imagine Dragons starting out alternative, but they play on pretty much every station now. Like you hear Imagine Dragons on CHR, you hear them on AC, like you hear them on everything now.
They sold out, bro.
They
Can afford a car and a house. What a bunch of sellouts.
I bet they probably got their mom something really nice for Christmas.
Yeah.
Losers.
Punks, whatever. Can't believe they have cash in their wallet. Bitches. All right, this next one on WOLT was There She Goes by The Laws. There for that one.
Yes.
Great song.
Great song.
Fits in that type of format.
Yep.
Good with it. What I've Done by Linkin Park.
All right.
I like Linkin Park.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They might be just old enough to get to the tip of that classic alternative because they're probably fitting that modern rock, like we said, like Chevelle and those other ones. They're probably more there than here. But since I like them, I'll give them a pass. I'll put that one in.
You know how I know that they're not the kids aren't loving Linkin Park like we are?
Why?
At the end of Transformers Rise of the Beasts, there was not a Linkin Park song.
Didn't even see it.
There has been a Linkin Park song on almost the end of every Transformers movie.
Oh, really? I didn't know that piece of trivia. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know why,
Matthew.
but not on that one.
Huh. Well, that's why it was a flop at the box office.
Exactly.
They forgot to put a Linkin Park song in the movie.
Yep.
So this next one on OLT is Wake Me Up by Avicii.
I thought you were going to say Wake Me Up by Wham.
Before you go, sir. I had to go back and listen to that song because I couldn't remember what it was.
It's
pretty good.
That's good, but that plays on...
that's
a hit.
Adult contemporary.
Yes, that's a hit song. Like that plays everywhere.
He's also probably got money in his wallet.
That loser. He probably
loser.
takes his friends on trips.
Yeah. How does he have any artistic credibility being able to pay his mortgage?
No. I bet if he gets a ticket, he pays it right away.
Yeah. And he probably says nice things to the police officer, too.
I'm sorry, and it was my mistake.
I didn't mean to speed, officer. Whatever.
A VC, if that is your real name.
It's his nom de plume, as you said. I don't even know what that means, but I'm going to say it more often.
Pen name. It's French for pen
name. God, you're fancy. So, all right, this one, too. For this one. I loved this song when it came out, and it fits in the classic alternative. It also fits in active rock, too, but in my head, because it's more from a punk band, so it should be on an alternative station, is Self-Esteem by The Offspring. I know it was a big hit. I don't care. Yeah. It's awesome.
I have mixed feelings about Offspring, but they can write a hit song, that's for sure. They can write
their first couple albums were straight up rockers across the board.
Yeah.
Then Hey There Delilah by the Plain White T's. Yes, I like that song.
Yeah. That was also a huge hit, though. Like, that did cross over quite a bit, but it is more of an alternative style. So,
But it started out in that world, and it became a hit. So we won't hold it against them that they can pay their rent.
No.
Another Lenny Kravitz song.
Come on.
No, I'm not like
American
Woman, and it's a cover.
Is it weird to you that there have been 2 Lenny Kravitz songs and no Everclear songs?
It's if we went into more hours, Everclear would be covered. But
I mean, seriously, that seems like the go-to standard for I'm making an alternative rock station. Got to throw in Everclear. I was surprised I didn't, but I just didn't have room.
There's 2 other bands that in our hours didn't make it anywhere, but I'm surprised you haven't brought them up yet. But we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So American Woman by Lenny Kravitz. I don't even think it's a great cover.
No.
And if you're going to pick a Lenny Kravitz song, I know it was a huge hit, but you got to go with something, especially on an alternative station, or you want to be considered that. You got to go with minimum. Are You Going to Go My Way?
Yeah. I would have gone with something sexy like If You Can't Say No.
Or was it See You Again? Is that the other one where you see his butt in the video?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how you get the ladies in. Little Lenny Kravitz butt. Brings the ladies in all the time. When I want to get sexy, I just hang up a picture of Lenny Kravitz's butt.
And then you walk away.
And then I blindfold them. Like, no. This is Lenny Kravitz's butt. They're like, I've never grabbed his butt, but I'm not imagining this is what it feels like. No.
No, it is. It's exactly what it feels like.
Leave your blindfold on, baby. It's Lenny Kravitz's butt. Trust me. And the last two that they rounded out their 12 o'clock hour with on WOLT was, this is one of my, I can't say I'm ashamed that I like it. I'm just ashamed how this person acts now because I think he's a total douche canoe.
Oh,
but I love this song and I love this album, and I would even give this a pass on a hard driving alternative station because this person didn't fit anywhere in the beginning.
Okay.
So that kind of makes you alternative. And I know people would probably strike me down in the street for saying that, but I'm going with it. I'll stand there.
Creed.
It's Kid Rock's Ba With the Ba.
Oh, yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm the Bull God is way better, but we'll go with Ba With the Ba. He's he's a dick now. I don't like him anymore, but I still love this album.
That's a jam.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
And then Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne.
Okay, come on. You know, a deeper cut from Britney Spears that I think would be on a good alternative rock station. It's a deeper cut. Stay with me, guys. It's a deep cut. It didn't play on your CHR stations, but it's not a girl, not yet a woman.
So, all right, I'm in the PD meeting here, and we're trying to round out this hour, and I feel we need some female representation in here, and we got to bring in the middle-aged, the moms. We got to bring the moms in from that era, you know, the ones that they probably got their first lower back tattoo at this point in time.
I'm telling you.
We need to talk about this here. Do we pick Avril Lavigne or do we pick Toxic by Britney Spears?
Yeah, or maybe even we go with something really indie, like Carly Rae Jepsen's second album. Not her first one, but her second album. The last track, I'm telling you guys, this is going to be huge.
Genius. Call me maybe. Wink, wink. But that was WOLT's hour, and I think, I don't know. It's kind
what's
of
with Lenny Kravitz?
I don't know what's with Lenny Kravitz.
Warner Brothers is paying a lot of money for him to be on an alternative rock station.
Yeah. Some of the songs these are the groups that weren't covered in any of our lists that are a little shocking, especially when you get to the classic alternative. And this first one, actually these two, they might not fit in our hour, but they're going to be there somewhere. One is Weezer.
Oh yeah,
the Blue album is going to be plastered all over a classic alternative station.
They have so many albums too.
They do. They have 105, I think.
They have a lot of all different colors of the rainbow albums, and most of them are pretty good.
And you know what didn't come up on any of ours? And there's a plethora of songs to pick. Closest you probably got was the Pixies to getting anything like this band. Nirvana.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, that's... See, yes, you're absolutely right. They deserve to be an alternative rock station for sure, but I feel like there was something to... I don't have a good reason. You're right. Nirvana should have been on there. I would have done You're Right by Nirvana.
Good one, but I probably would, because, I got to be that guy. I would have went with About a Girl or
One Baby to Another said There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good Nirvana. I don't fault that. It's kind of stupid that I couldn't include them in my hour, but honestly, it was really tricky to do an hour.
It is when you're trying to cover all of that. So that's why I said in my text to you before we got started, I says at the very least we'll have some good playlists from this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna playlist these out, and I'm gonna put them on our Spotify and attach it to the show notes.
Sweet.
So anybody could go listen to the playlists.
Fantastic.
We're at a little over an hour, so I think we did pretty good.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't remember what we do after this. Do we just?
I think we usually go. So what have you been doing? You got to do it like we're DJs, though. So here on WJAM, Matt, we're sitting here.
Let me tell you about my weekend, guys.
We're about to close out the 12 o'clock hour. Barely keep my eyes open. So what have you been up to?
I checked out the newest donut shop down the block from me. It was donut heaven. Do not miss it.
I can't top that, my good friend. I can't top that. So we're going to move on to the next hour.
Whenever I start doing that, I always go into my Dave Jackson voice. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. How's it going, buddy?
tell you, buddy. I would have kicked that guy's ass, man.
King
Hey,
of UP Radio, Dave Jackson. Yeah, we're going to get an email about that one.
All right. So,
all right.
Wrapping up, we have some fun stuff coming up. We actually are going to be trying to record some more lately. So anyone who's still listening to the podcast, thanks so much for sticking with us. We thought you needed a palate cleanser. Listen to some other stuff for a little while, and then make you really, really want it, and then we would give it right to you.
That's right.
That's the plan. So,
and I would like to let our, tens of listeners know that I'm going to have, in the next few months, I'm going to have another fake baby story. Yep. My daughter's a freshman in high school, and she joined the parenting class. I think it's one of the semesters down the road. And so, yeah, I'm going to have another fake baby in the house.
Has the fake baby technology improved in the last couple of years?
I don't know if the school budget passed for new fake babies. I think we get the same fake babies we had before. So I'll have to let you know when it happens.
That's the thing about fake babies. Kids get older and they stay the same age.
That's right. And that's how we'll close out this hour on WJAM.
Thanks for tuning in to WJAM.
All right. Well, we are XRadioX. We'll see you next time.